Okay, we're back. It's a couple days until the race, the Silver State 300, and haven't been doing a whole lot. The truck's pretty much ready, so I've just kind of been out here tinkering, doing odds and ends stuff, that little improvements. I'll show you what I've done. I added this back firewall screened caged thing. Just wanted a little bit better separation for us. And then Jesus, I just tripped over my toolbox. Awesome. And then I added this steel roof lid pan that gives us some separation from the fiberglass top. I drained all the fluids out. So the transmission fluid is out. I inspected it. It looks really good. So I'll be filtering it and putting it back in. And then when I do that, I'm going to reach up in here and I'm going to replace these three switches. These were just cheesy plastic switches that I got locally because the ones that I had bought weren't the right amperage. And these ones aren't even the right amperage. But it's all I could find local. So since then, I've acquired some really good commercial grade 30 amp switches. So I'll switch those out today. They run the water pump and the fuel pump and ignition. So I'll do that, and then I'll get motor oil put back in it, and I'm going to change out the thermostat. It's got a 180 in it, so I got a 160, and then I drilled it to get some bypass, and that might help with our vapor locking issue that we were running into a little bit before, because it's a Chevy and they're great at doing that. And then I have a new GoPro coming. I had to order a GoPro 8 Black. So let me go back a little bit. You remember when I said that I bought a microphone? I was pretty excited about it. When it came, I was super excited about it, right? That way we don't get this close-up, high-low volume of my really exciting monotone voice. So I was trying to get it to work, and I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't get it to work, so a little bit of research, and I discovered that all the GoPros I have, which are 7 grays, or 7 silvers, whatever they call them, none of them are remote mic compatible. Yeah, and I think I have 4 or 5 of them. And if anybody knows how much GoPros are, I really wish I would have known that before I bought them all, because none of them are remote microphone compatible. But anyway, hopefully this new one comes before the race, and I can get it in the cab, and we can tap into our helmet system. So not only will you have good in-cab footage of us mobbing our way through the desert, but you'll be able to hear Brett and I's screams. Yeah, that's always fun. So, all right. So it should be here. We'll get it hooked up. The truck is pretty much all together. It's just needs its body. I'm gonna get the fluids and everything that I spoke about done today, and then I'll get it pulled out and cleaned up and WD-40 down, and get the body cleaned up and put back on it, and then get it on the trailer, and then we will be headed to Primm Thursday, for tech inspection and contingency in the driver's meeting, and then the rest of the guys will be here Friday night, and we're gonna camp at the starting line up by Alamo. We'll camp Friday night to Saturday, and then I think we line up somewhere around 10 or 11 a.m. and our classes leave the line between 12 and 2, I think is what it is. So yeah, this race is a lot different than the Mint. First off, it's a chase race. There's no single stationary pit area like the Mint, because this is a point-to-point race. So our pit supplies have to be a lot more mobile, and less of it. We don't need to take things like the Easy Up and tables and chairs and stuff like that. So it'll be a lot easier to chase. We're going to try to do it with 2 vehicles. Unless we don't have enough people, then we'll just use one, but we'll just leapfrog it. This truck should get pretty decent fuel mileage. Worst case scenario, we'll get about 6 miles to the gallon, but with the tune and everything we have, I'm hoping to get 7.5 to 8. And if that's the case, then we can have well over 100 miles in our tank. And there's usually on average only about 50 miles between pits. So we should be able to leapfrog. Our pit crew should be able to leapfrog, skip a couple of pits, and we'll plan it out. We'll talk about that at our team driver meeting in camp on Friday. And then this race is also different from the Mint because it's not as rough. Matt Lovell has raced this race before. He's been you've heard me mention his name many times, Matt Lovell Racing. He's been a professional racer for many years, and he has been truly my mentor through this whole journey since our first race in December. And he's just a encyclopedia of information on every race that there is. And so he has dialed us in and let us know that this race it's not very technical. It's not real rough. There's a couple silt beds that we got to contend with, but the biggest issue is elevation change, because we'll start in the desert floor. We go way up into the mountains by Caliente and Alamo, and then back down. So there's quite a big elevation differences, and that might play with your fuel injection a little bit, but I think we'll be okay. But it's a lot of fire roads. It's a fast race. It's a pretty smooth race. So with that being said, my plan is to just run a really conservative, steady pace. Because in racing, I know consistency and steadiness and patience gets you to the finish line. So I don't want to push it too hard and break anything. We're just gonna go for a nice drive and make it from point A to point B. And why that's important is because there's been so many people, including you viewers, that have followed this and supported this. My team, Kim and Brett, Edge Construction Supply, Mighty Ties, NAC, LP Engineering, PCI Radios, and General Tire, and just all the friends and family that are supporting this and enjoy watching it. It's important to me that we get this thing across the finish line for all of you guys. Everybody has given so much time and effort and their own money and sponsors with products, and just the enthusiasm that they've given to me when they jumped on board to this, I'm so grateful for. And yeah, everybody deserves it. We just need to get this thing off the starting line and cross the finish line and get her done. And that's what we're gonna do. So, yeah. It would be nice if I had a shop helper, though, that actually did something other than just sit in the Big Joe chair all day long and look cute. But he's a good friend. He's a pal. He's my shop buddy. And then we got Scarlett over here. She comes in and relaxes. Come here.
She doesn't like the camera. Here, lay down.
She's a little skittish of stuff in here sometimes. Okay, so I'm gonna get on it. I'll get this stuff done and bring you guys along. Yeah. And then we're off.
Bonnie and Clyde.
bunch of grinding dust and crap on me. Okay, so it's the next day. This is take 2 because my fan was going and you couldn't hear me. It was really muffled. And since I am going through my microphone fiasco, you can't hear me very well. With that said, though, the new GoPro is supposed to be here today, so that'll be exciting. Okay, so the camera died on me yesterday. What you saw me do was get the exhaust and all that stuff buttoned up, and then today I did the floor pan. I put transmission fluid in it. I got motor oil in it. New air filter, new pre-filter. I think you also saw me heat wrap a lot of the oil return lines, and then I put a little bit of adjustment on the front suspension, and now I'm just going to get the door panels on and the hood, and I'm going to make a visor to go across here that'll just block off all that, keep air and crap from getting in there. And then there's supposed to be some little keeper pins. I don't know what you call them. They're like a straight pin, T-handled pin with a button on them. They lock in and out when you push the button. I'm going to use those to make a new light bar rack for right here. And eventually it'll have electric actuators on it so we can adjust and tilt the light bar on the fly. I won't get that part of it done before this weekend, but I will get the light bar remounted up there and and rewired up. Here's the plug for it. I had to take all that down when I redid everything, but I want to block that off, and then I'm going to make the little light bar bracket, and those keeper pins are part of the, not just the mounting mechanism, so you can just push the button and take the light bar off, but they also function as the hinge and the pivot point of the light bar. I got that idea from Matt Wilkinson's Jimco truck. It was super simple how they did it and really effective, so I'm going to fab one of those up before today is over. But basically today I'm just getting the truck, the body panels put back on it, and then I'm gonna get it all washed up and cleaned up and ready for tech inspection tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get this video out tonight. Very little editing, and it's not gonna have all the music and flair that's time consuming that other videos have had, because I want to try to get as much for you guys to watch through the whole process of tech and contingency tomorrow, and then camping on Friday, and then the race. So I'm going to try to just get the videos made and published as fast as I can so you can follow along. Yeah, so I think that's it. I got the truck on the battery charger, topping the batteries off. What else? I'm just going to vacuum the interior out and get it all cleaned up and looking nice. And I remarked all the new bolts from the new rear suspension and everything. Topped off all the fluids in there, the spare backup fluids, and then went through and just retorqued all the bolts that are on a lot of important moving parts. Yeah. But as far as that goes, everything's functioning. Radios are good, fans are good, lights are good. I had some question about whether or not my water pump was getting enough amperage to flow water. So I did an electrical test on that last night, and it's good. I topped the radiator off with Maxima coolant and turned the water pump on, and it's flowing a lot of water. So I'm pretty anxious to see how well the larger fans do with the new coolant and the new thermostat. And then I'm going to get a little bit higher pressure radiator cap. I had a 16 in it. I think I'll try an 18. The thing about enclosed systems like this is when things stay pressurized, they cool better. So it's a little tip there. Coolant systems work better when they're under pressure. So I think that's it. So I'll get the body on it, get it all cleaned up, and then I'll start loading the trailer and get the Ford cleaned up and get this thing loaded up so I can take off tomorrow. All right, keep going.